What's up Scrubs, it's Snazzbot here, and I'm going to do my first modern house tutorial today. It's only a small house, but it's a nice house. It's got a garage, it's got some living space, and it's even got a pool on its roof, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Anyway, so let's get into it, and I'll show you pretty much block by block how we make it. First step is we're going to lay out the general shape of the walls of oak. Laying out the shape of your build like this is much better than just building randomly, as it gives you a framework and a guideline that you can build on for your build, and I think that's helpful for most builders. Once we've got the shape down, we're going to raise the walls to the required heights that they'll be in the build. The right side of the build here, where the garage will be 3 blocks high, and all the blocks on the left are going to be 4 blocks high. This will create like a split level in the build, which you'll see later. So in this image, you can see the exact dimensions of each part of the build. Now we're laying out the other materials used in the walls, in this case being quartz. We'll lay this out in a pattern like so. We're going to create a sort of stained clay circle here on the left hand edge, cutting out that corner that you see so the circle isn't fully complete. We're going to bring these up to the desired heights. The front section here is going to be brought up to the same height as the oak walls. The back section is going to be brought up to 5 blocks, 1 block higher than the back walls. And remember, we're going to be filling in these arches here, as you see. We're going to turn this clay circle into a clay cylinder that is now 6 blocks high. Outside of this build is going to be latticed by sort of a quartz framework. So now we're going to build and add more pillars to the framework before, and we're going to raise these pillars to the height of the adjacent oak logs all the way around. On the back side of the garage here, we're going to build like a sculpture type feature that's going to be made out of cyan clay, and we're going to make a box using quartz stairs and slabs that peeks through onto the wood. This just makes it so it's not entirely a blank wall, and any features like this you put in your build just make it much better. With the walls now up, we can focus on the roof. The first roof we're going to focus on is the lower section of the roof, which will go over the top of the garage. And we're going to build it by placing quartz block along the top of the frame and following the oak outline. With this done, we're also going to leave a gap there, and this gap will be for a skylight, so there's natural light coming through onto the garage. Then we're going to build up the existing 1 block high quartz with another layer of quartz slab. On this roof, now we're going to make sort of an awning out of quartz slab, placing it on the outside of the slabs we just placed, all around the edge of the top of the build. On the full block below this, we're going to do the exact same thing and run another quartz trim all the way around the top. We're able to move on to the higher part of the roof. This will be over the actual living space of the build, and we're going to build the roof the same way by following this oak outline, but we're going to do it at the same height as that 5-block high archway, and so we're not going to build out any further from that. You'll see what I mean. We'll be keeping a 3x6 hole in the roof, and this will form what will eventually be the pool. And we're going to fill up this pool with polished andesite 1 block below these quartz. We're going to build the same sort of quartz trim that we did for the garage around the top of this living space roof, except for we're not going to be doing this on the slab block and instead on the full quartz block, all the way around the top, and then another layer 1 block down, but this layer will be on the top half of the oak wall. Over towards where we built the cylinder, we're going to complete the circle on top of the quartz roof and then add a 3x3 skylight in. This will give us some natural lighting over the top of our doorway, which will give a very warming and welcoming feeling when people come through the front door to the house. I'm now going to be going around and making windows in the build. Now, for all windows in this build, I'm going to be using black stained glass because I think it looks nice to have a sort of darker window just to accentuate the light colours that we're using in the walls. Now, we're going to be having windows on most surfaces of the house, as I think glass is a very important medium in all types of modern houses. We'll be having windows in all the walls in the garage to let in as much light as possible, and this really reflects a lot of modern day houses. I'm showing each and every window design and giving you all the information you need to be able to reproduce these. Finally, we're going to be able to move on to the interior. Now, the first thing we need to address in the interior is the pool. With only 1 block of polished andesite between the living space and the water, we're going to be having drops of water coming through. So we're going to add sort of a barrier and lower the roof of this section of the interior by adding quartz slabs along there. We're also going to be lowering this sort of hallway between these 2 great windows. This quartz block here will do just that. We're going to add a staircase onto the roof here, made out of quartz stairs going all the way up onto the roof, breaking through the top to make sure we can walk through. Coming back downstairs now, we're going to be adding in a floor, and now I want to use a birch floor because I don't want the floor to blend with the walls, which it would if I was to use oak, and I also don't think this house is suited to have a dark floor. The floor is going to be a bit different in the garage, as you know, a garage is normally concrete. We're just going to use stone bricks in this section. We're getting so close to being done now. We're going to move on to the rooftop pool. Now the pool is simply just filled with water, and we're going to add sort of a rim around it made of glass panes, which will act like a sort of tempered glass fence. Then we're going to add some simple sort of decking chairs and whatever this thing I put at the end of the pool is. I don't know myself, but it looks pretty cool. I don't know, maybe it's like a tap or something. That concludes sort of the lesson section for this tutorial. I want to leave sort of the interior design and maybe some outside like landscaping features up to you guys, because I think it'd be interesting for me and for you to see what you can come up with. that being said, I'm super stoked about, you know, how well my channel's doing at the moment. You know, we're growing slowly, but, you know, we're getting there. I just want to let you guys know that I have a Twitter, and I'm pretty active on it, and I talk about my building a lot, if anyone wants to follow that. If you really like this video, give it a like. If you love the video, you know, and you want to see more, maybe think about subscribing, I don't know. But I guess I will see you next time. I'm going to try and do one of these tutorial videos at least once a week, because to be honest, I enjoy them. But I'll still be keeping up with like my time-lapse content, because I really enjoy all that I'm doing on this channel at the moment, and I just want to say thank you. And I'll see you next time, scrubs.